A very good morning. This presentation is brought to you by Resonate International with a mission to leverage knowledge worldwide. The topic today is ending conflicts and alleviating human suffering. Today, we confront a challenge that demands urgent attention: the prevalence of conflicts that plague our world and are resulting in horrifying human suffering and unprecedented economic impact. In our interconnected world, the responsibility to solve these conflicts and eradicate the issues underneath lies with the governments, institutions, and each of us as global citizens. Together, we hold the power and the responsibility to foster peace and alleviate the pain being endured by millions of people. We simply cannot be silent spectators. And the big question is, why can't a united effort be made? Let's take a look at the underlying common causes whose combination together in various forms and proportions leads to the conflicts. First is political power struggles. Competing factions vie for control, often leading to violence when peaceful means fail. Second, ethnic and religious tensions. Historical grievances and discrimination can escalate into conflicts. Third, economic inequality. Disparities in wealth and resources create tensions and fuel resentment. Fourth, resource scarcity. Competition for resources like water and land often sparks conflict. Fifth, colonial legacy. Arbitrary borders and power structures imposed during colonial times contribute to modern disputes. Sixth, external interferences. Foreign interventions can aggravate existing or simmering tensions and ignite new ones. 7. Geopolitical ambitions. Thoughts and actions rooted in historical context, much against ground realities of the present, will lead to conflicts. 8. Clash of political ideologies. Different political governance models in different nations and their interplay in the world affairs and on world stage for their dominance lead to conflicts. And of course, last but not least, the so-called terrorism in the world. What are the challenges in addressing such causes? Historical grievances is one. Deep-seated animosities are often resistant to speedy resolutions. Second, lack of political will. Leaders may prioritize short-term gains over long-term peace. Third, weak institutions. Many conflict-prone regions lack strong institutions to manage disputes peacefully. Fourth, complexity of issues. Interlinked factors make it difficult to address root causes comprehensively. And last, fifth, ineffective global institutions. They are no longer looked at as fair mediators and have thus lacked trust and credibility both, making them virtually ineffective in their jobs. The conflicts lead to impacts. Let's look at the economic impact. According to the Global Peace Index, global conflict and violence costs the global economy over 14 trillion US dollars annually, impacting growth and stability both. Just for example, the Iraq and Afghanistan wars alone have costed more than $6 trillion. Extensive damage to infrastructure in conflict zones is another major issue. It has long-term economic impacts, hindering development. Besides the economic impact, the human impact is tremendous. The human toll itself is profound. Approximately 85 million people have died in conflicts since 1945. In Korean War, about 2.5 million deaths occurred, and major regional destabilization exists even today. The Vietnam War resulted in an estimated 2 to 3 million deaths, as well as around 58,000 US military personnel. According to the UN, over 79.5 million people stand displaced today worldwide due to the ongoing conflicts. It's a mind-boggling figure. These individuals who are displaced endure extreme hardships, lacking essential resources like food, water, and shelter. Conflicts disrupt education, healthcare, and economic opportunities, perpetuating cycles of poverty and suffering. Effect on children, women, and elderly is simply devastating. Let's look at the current ongoing conflicts to just have an idea where we live and how the world is around us. First is Ukraine conflict. The war between Russia and Ukraine continues with significant civilian and military casualties. The conflict has caused widespread destruction and displacement. Over 5 lakh casualties, including both military and civilian deaths, have been reported. Sudan civil war. Intense fighting has resulted in thousands of deaths and massive displacements, approximately 10,000 deaths and over 3 million displaced. Israel-Hamas conflict. The conflict in Gaza remains severe, with potential for escalation into a wider regional conflict. Recent escalations have resulted in thousands of casualties. 2023 fatalities were somewhere between 23,000 to 32,000. 2024 fatalities till now are about 20,000 people. Myanmar conflict. Ongoing fighting between the military coup in 2021 has led to numerous fatalities and displacements. Thousands of deaths since the coup, with over 1 million displaced. 2023 fatalities range right up to 15,000 people. 2024 fatalities have already crossed 9,000 people. Ethiopia. Despite a peace agreement, other regions are continuing to experience violence. Tigray conflict led to an estimated 6 lakh deaths before the 2022 peace agreement. Other regions remain unstable. Yemen is another hotspot. US and UK's involvement and now Israel's against Houthi rebels. This conflict, though primarily a civil war within Yemen, has significantly become an international theater, especially from the Saudi-led coalition supported by the US and UK, and has caused a substantial humanitarian crisis. Over 377,000 deaths since the conflict began in 2015, including those from starvation and lack of medical care, have been reported. Syria, the civil war continues with reduced intensity though compared to previous years. Over 5 lakh deaths and millions stand displaced. Armenia-Azerbaijan conflict. This conflict has seen military escalations and significant displacement of people, affecting the stability of the South Caucasus region. Democratic Republic of Congo. Ongoing violence in the eastern regions, including clashes involving rebel groups. Thousands have been killed in the ongoing violence, with millions displaced. Sahel region conflict involving Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. All these involves coups and insurgencies with jihadist groups significantly impacting the West African region. Colombia. Despite peace efforts, violence from armed groups remains a concern. Hundreds of deaths in recent years due to armed group activities have been reported. Haiti's gang violence. Although not a conventional war, the severity of gang violence and the potential for international intervention make the situation critical. Ecuador's struggle against drug trafficking. This is more an internal security challenge than a conventional war, but it has significant implications for the entire region. Mexico's challenges with drug cartels. Similar to Ecuador, this is an internal security issue with significant impacts on public safety and governance. These are conflict spots which are hot right now, but there are future conflict spots which are likely to become hot. For example, Taiwan Strait. Rising tensions between China and Taiwan could lead to conflict. South China Sea. Territorial disputes involving China and several Southeast Asian countries. Korean Peninsula. The potential for conflict remains due to North Korea's nuclear program. Iran and the Middle East. Tensions with the US and regional rivals could escalate any time. Central Africa. Ethnic and political tensions in countries like the Central African Republic could worsen. Eastern Europe. Russian actions in neighboring countries continue to pose risks. Tensions with Europe and NATO are rising. What can be done? First is a call to action. We must recognize that the responsibility for peace lies with us all. Governments must commit to diplomatic efforts and equitable policies. Institutions should foster dialogue and cooperation. Politicians must prioritize peace and the welfare of their people. We call on world leaders to act decisively and collaboratively. Let us work together to dismantle the structures of violence and build bridges of understanding. Having given the call for action, let's look at a 10-point strategic approach to achieve this noble goal. First, strengthen the international institutions. International institutions like the United Nations must play a crucial role in conflict resolution. Strengthening the UN's peacekeeping missions and enhancing their mandates can lead to more robust conflict prevention and resolution. Second, promote dialogue and diplomacy. The first step towards resolving conflicts is fostering open dialogue and diplomacy. The governments and institutions must prioritize diplomatic channels over military interventions. Third, address the root causes. Addressing root causes is essential for lasting peace. The governments must invest in education, healthcare, and economic development to uplift the marginalized communities and reduce the breeding grounds for conflicts. Fourth, promote inclusive governance. Inclusive governance ensures that all segments of society have a voice in decision making and in defining the destiny forward. This inclusivity can prevent the marginalization of minority groups and reduce the likelihood of conflicts. Fifth, support transitional justice. In post-conflict societies, transitional justice mechanisms such as truth commissions and repatriation are vital for healing and reconciliation. These mechanisms help address past atrocities and build a foundation for a peaceful future. Sixth, enhance the humanitarian aid. Humanitarian aid is crucial for alleviating the immediate suffering caused by conflicts. The governments and international organizations must ensure timely and adequate aid delivery to affected populations. Coordinated efforts can prevent humanitarian crises from escalating and provide relief to those in dire need. Seventh, foster regional cooperation. Regional cooperation is essential for addressing conflicts that transcend national borders. Regional organizations like the African Union and the European Union have played pivotal roles in conflict resolution in the past. Strengthening these organizations and promoting regional dialogue can lead to more effective conflict management. Eighth, leverage technology for peace. Technology can be a powerful tool for peace building. Social media platforms, for instance, can be used to promote peace messages and counter hate speech. Additionally, data analytics can help predict and prevent conflicts by identifying early warning signs. Governments and institutions must harness technology to foster peace and stability. Ninth, empower women and youth. Women and youth are often the most affected by conflicts, yet they are also powerful agents of change. Empowering women and youth through education, economic opportunities, and political participation can lead to more resilient and peaceful societies. 10th, commit to sustainable development. Sustainable development is key to preventing conflicts and ensuring long-term peace. The United Nations Sustainability Development Goals provide a comprehensive framework for addressing the root causes of conflicts. Governments must commit to achieving these goals to create a more just and peaceful world. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, addressing conflicts and alleviating human suffering requires a collective effort. The mission is complex but achievable. Let us unite in this mission, ensuring that future generations inherit a world free from the scourge of conflict. We work together to create a world where peace and prosperity prevails. The time for action is now. and the responsibility lies with each one of us to first build our own clarity on the issues, then raise our voice in the best manner we can by distinguishing between right and wrong and supporting, therefore, the truth. This will generate needed public opinion and the special rest will follow. Thank you very much. God bless.